You know how we often think of innovation like it's a lightning strike, some sudden random flash of genius? But what if it's more like architecture, something you have to actually design, blueprint, and build, piece by piece? Today, we're diving into how leaders become the true architects of innovation.
And that brings us to the core question every single leader needs to be asking themselves. Is your organization truly designed for innovation, or is it by default designed for stagnation? Because let's be real, one is an active choice, and the other, well, that's just what happens when you don't choose at all.
So what are the stakes here? I mean, really. There's a reason we're calling this first section the innovation imperative. In today's landscape, innovation isn't just some nice-to-have extra. It's the fundamental choice between growth and decline.
Okay, so look at these two paths. On one side, you've got innovation. And this isn't just about launching the next shiny thing. It's the engine that powers your competitive advantage and keeps you relevant in the market. But on the other side, there's stagnation. And the most dangerous thing about it is that it's the default. It's the path of least resistance, that slow, quiet slide into irrelevance that happens when you just do nothing.
All right, so if stagnation is the default, how do you actively fight against that inertia? Well, it has to start at the very top. This brings us to the leader's mandate, what we're calling the architect's personal mindset. This is what sets the entire foundation.
And this mindset isn't just some vague attitude. It translates into three very concrete actions. First, you can't just allow creativity. You have to actively champion it. Second, you have to fuel that creativity by encouraging experimentation, giving teams the resources and, this part's crucial, the psychological safety to test new things. And finally, the hardest part for so many leaders, you have to tolerate failure. Not just any failure, but calculated failures. Because every failed experiment isn't a mistake, it's a data point. It's literally the price of admission for finding out what truly works.
A leader's mindset is the spark, for sure. But a spark without an engine doesn't really go anywhere, right? You have to translate that intention into an actual system. This is where we move from the architect's mind to the organizational blueprint itself. It's time to build the innovation engine.
One of the most critical components of this engine is something called cross-functional collaboration. I mean, think about it. Game-changing ideas almost never happen in a silo. True innovation sparks at the intersection where different perspectives meet. You've got to break down the walls between marketing, engineering, and sales, and let those viewpoints clash, combine, and ultimately forge something entirely new. So how do you actually engineer this? The blueprint requires a few key elements. You formalize collaboration by building dedicated cross-functional teams. You stay ahead of the curve by systematically tracking emerging tech. But the real key is this. Innovation can't be a side hustle or some special project. It has to be woven into the very fabric of your core business strategy, informing how you operate every single day.
Okay, we've covered the leader's mindset and the organizational engine, but we're still missing the most important piece of the puzzle, the destination. What is the ultimate goal here? What's the purpose that drives this entire process? It all comes down to this really powerful idea. You can have endless brainstorms, hackathons, and shiny innovation labs, but without a clear direction, it isn't progress. It's just noise. It's activity that can actually distract the entire organization from what truly matters.
And here it is. This is the true north for all your innovation efforts. It's not about being creative for creativity's sake. Every new product, every experiment, every single idea has to be held up against one simple question. Does this solve a real customer need? If the answer is no, you're probably just spinning your wheels.
So when you finally combine that architect's mindset with a purpose-built innovation engine, and you aim it all squarely at solving customer needs, this is the result. You don't just get a single-hit product. You build sustained relevance. You build an organization that can adapt and thrive no matter what the world throws at it. That is the architect's ultimate creation.
So we'll leave you with this. Thinking of yourself as that architect, what is the one calculated risk, one experiment, one new idea you can champion that you need to take this week to start building a better blueprint for your organization?